culture. For the culture. 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 For the culture.
Tonight's guest. This is a very, very special soul. I'm excited to get to know more about him. This guy is like, best way I could say it is highly respected. And when I say highly respected, I'm not just throwing some title out there. We hear his name as a favorite barber from some of our favorite barbers. This is a world-renowned educator for Andis. I mean, he puts it down for Andis. And even that is not just a brand thing. You know, this guy stands for what he believes in, and he stands for that company in a lot of ways. So I can't wait for him to tap into that more. He's known for his precision, consistency, and high-level approach to this craft, man. I'm gonna just stop right there because when I researched him, I learned that I could be reading about this dude for a whole nother page. So with no further delay, we bring it to the screen, Kenny Duncan, aka K Duncan Grooming.
K Duncan Grooming.
Yeah, boy. There we go.
I can't hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Let me tell you. Leave and then come back.
You can hear me, but I can't hear you guys.
Kick him out.
Leave. Yeah.
Kick him out.
I got the volume all the way up.
Bring him back.
Kick him out. I'm gonna text him.
Hey, Tamil sign language he be thinking it be working. He like
leave and come back.
Like,
I wonder what else that could be. Y'all, hey, what does that mean to y'all? Turn the volume down and tell me what this looks like.
This boy's such a smart ass. I wonder what else it could be.
Hey.
There we go. There we go.
I've got to tell you that on my on our thing in the backstage.
Did you even hear your intro?
I heard nothing. I was trying to read your lips so bad. I was like, all right, is it? Yeah. I'm about to go on. I'm about to go.
I feel like we should intro him again. But anyway, man, we in short, we let people know that you are for us, you're a very well-respected barber in this industry, and that's not just some chat GPT title we're throwing on you. It comes from the fact that we have a lot of favorite barbers who you are the favorite barber of those people. So it's really real when we say that. And then all the rest of the intro stuff, you can just hear it on the playback of the video later on. But we got Kenny Duncan here, man. It's good to have you. Been just really honoring you from a distance and in passing here and there, man. So it's nice to have you where we sitting still together. And just want to jump straight in and ask you, man, why barbering, sir?
Well, before we get to that, I have to say thank you guys for having me, and thank you guys for creating something for the culture that highlights the culture so that our voices can be magnified and shared more. So I have to say hats off to you guys for that. And the consistency that you guys have, the follow through that you guys have is second to none. So I appreciate you guys for that.
Oh, receive, man.
Yep.
Let's not even bypass that. Receive. Thank you, man.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So why barbering? So if you ask me, I've been cutting hair since December of '99, right? December of '98. I'm sorry, in a barbershop. But I've been cutting the hair since '96. There are a lot of things that are birthed out of necessity. So me cutting hair was birthed out of necessity, just growing up poor, right? But if you ask me then why I chose barbering, I would have a totally different answer then than I do now, because mentally I wasn't established and I wasn't developed. So what I could say now is that God has allowed for barbering to be the vehicle for character to be built more than capital. And the reason why that was necessary is because having a dysfunctional upbringing has left me with holes, but yet God seen fit to use other men outside of my father to model greatness for me. And a large amount of times it was through the gift that was in my hand of cutting hair that allowed me to be, have access to great men and have great conversations. So over time, I've been changing because of who I've had access to based off of what God has given me access to. And God chose barbering for me, and I'm grateful for that.
I love that. I love your breakdown. And I'm going to tell you, man, I have so many similarities. It took me a while to realize those things. I think I've been learning it backwards, and that's why I make the barbering the center of everything I do now, even outside of barbering. It's to me, everything starts with barbering. You said something so monumental in my personal experience, which is those people that you were getting access to. They were part of your evolution.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't get that. It's like we think we're putting on the show for them, and we're pouring, and they're actually pouring into us. And I always say, I've said it on stage many a times when me and T do school visits, that for me, I didn't really whine about a father not being there all the time. I mean, you know, you have your times where you wish, you know, he was, for whatever the case is, but it just wasn't something heavy that weighed on me. But when I got into the barbershop in my 19, 20, early 20s, I was anxiously attacking these men for information and things that helped build me. And man, some of those people, I'm late 40s and they're still in my life right now. So they became family.
Absolutely. So I have a great relationship with my dad, and it was because of me developing a better relationship with myself. There was a point in time where I had a disappointment in him because of me having this idea of what God's plan was supposed to look like. So I'm not mad at him because he did the best he could. Like, if you only have a trimmer, somebody can't be mad at you that you're not braiding their hair.
Can we stay right here? Can we stay right here? Listen, and just for the record, I'll usually give this disclaimer. This is not an interview, man. This is a conversation. We hanging, all right? We're getting to know each other. I love where you at right there. I have spoken this to, I've had a lot of people sit in my chair, and I get a lot of young men for some reason. And I got younger barbers that I feel like, oh, okay, they tried me out this time. They'll probably fit better. You know, they're in the same age range or whatever, and they'll come back. And I'm like, man, I wonder what brought them back. And I'm listening to them. And I've heard this at all ages, man, 20s, 30s. I even had a 50-some-year-old. And they started really going hard on their father. I even had this conversation with a cousin of mine. And they like, man, that, you know, and so he ain't never, and man, I wish my pops did this and that, like the way you did that with your kids. And then I literally like had to figure out a way to respond, to not just check them, but to give them a broader perspective. And I did exactly what you said multiple times. I was like, how unfair is it for you to expect somebody who's been who they are before you got into this world, before you were a thought, to instantly become who you dreamed that they would be? Like, they're the same human they were before you were even conceived. And so when people say, man, my dad never threw a football with me, man, and they whining about it, I'm like, do your dad play football? Like, is he a football player? Like, what if your dad's a scientist? You know, what if he just loves you? He's just a gentle spirit.
What if he's a workaholic to keep food on the table that he don't have that time?
It's all kind of what ifs. Yeah. And I'm like, what you just did you're the one that I be talking to in the chair. So it's so fire. It's fire to hear that you found that, man. Like, how the hell did you find that?
Through my own failures. So here's what I realized. There's times where people have placed unrealistic and uncommunicated expectations on me, then been mad at me for not fulfilling what they didn't communicate to me, and I wasn't even aware of, right? So there was a season in which I was mad at my dad for stuff that I didn't communicate to him, and never even asked if he had the capacity to do so. And now I realize that I'm angry at God for God's plan being different than my plan.
Jimmy, I didn't know we was coming out like this tonight.
Yeah. So I realized that I had a little bit of arrogance. So when I see it and when I can identify it within myself, it's easy for me to identify it in others, because I'm hard on myself in that same way. So it's easy. I mean, I don't point it out and be like, oh man, this is what your problem is. But I'm like, I feel you. I understand you, because I was there too. So I come from a different perspective. So the other thing is, I realized something. I realized that I had to limit how many people that I allowed to be judge and jury over my life. Because when people have the perspective that you're supposed to do something and then you don't do it and then they're disappointed, if you give them the power to be judged, let me put a quarter in the meter and park for a second. Judge is one person that can have one decision that can have a major impact on your life, right? So every client that sits in your chair, they're the judge of you doing a great haircut or not, whether they're going to pay or not, whether they're going to come back or not, whether they're going to read a book. They have one singular decision to make on it. When it's a jury, it's a group of people collectively coming together to make a decision and have an impact. Here it is, something that I didn't know, wasn't empowered to be able to do, and you're disappointed in it. My perspective is, was I supposed to do it in the first place? And should I give you that mental space in my mind to allow you to have that much control as if you are judge and jury? So one of the things I ask in my shop all the time, my staff, is, why do you care so much? Like, if somebody says something that affects you, why do you care that much?
Why do you care that much?
Why do you care? Because when you do that type of soul searching to find out, like, it usually ties back to something else that happened in the past that ain't got nothing to do with the person that's currently, scratching that scar that you end up having. That's what really happens. So when you got a scab and somebody pick at it, that's what becomes irritating. But they aren't the ones that cut you. They just want to pick it at the scab. So
you're right. I got a saying that I say, don't give 2% person 100% of your attention. Somebody that want to add their 2 cents in, because they don't know where you're going. They don't know where you've been. They're going to tell you what they would like you to see or what they like to see in your journey, but they have no idea where you're coming from or where you really headed. So I listen to people give me their opinion, but I don't let it have an overwhelming effect on where I'm going, unless it's somebody I'm looking to get mentored from, or somebody I looked up to, somebody I see that's doing something that I'm trying to do. But there's a lot of people that's trying to tell you what to do. Another thing is we expect people to react the way we would react. And we got to let go of that. We can't, like, oh man, he didn't even say excuse me, or he didn't even say sorry. He probably don't have that in him to do that. But we think that, that's just something that they should do, but we can't expect people to react the way we would react.
Absolutely.
How did your father react, man? Did you make this a known discovery, or did you just gradually start acting different? Like, how did you present to him that I get this now?
I think it just happens over time. There's several key moments in our lives that I would say we benefit from, that he can tell that I'm not holding nothing against him. The first time was I'm in my second marriage, and the first time was in between marriages. I was going through tough times, just processing, how the closest person in my life was viewing me and figuring out identity. And this was at a very young age, right? This was at the age of 21. No, 20. Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out life, right?
Right.
And we had a conversation, because I'm a junior, and growing up, I would not call him dad. I would call him Kenny, and I would charge him for haircuts, right?
Oh, damn. You was cold. Kenny, you was Kenny.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry. Did y'all live together?
Not at all.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm following you.
Not at all. But he was one of the first people that I came to when I was in that distress, and there was a thing that I had to realize. I was holding unforgiveness against him, and I learned that I could not be forgiven by God if I was holding on to unforgiveness towards him. And then I had to wrestle with that. I had to wrestle with this idea, like, I'm carrying additional baggage, additional burdens that I shouldn't even have to. And Christ is trying to make me free from that. And I'm like, oh God. So navigating through that was number one. Navigating through the second step was my dad, he specialized in construction. And not too long after that, maybe like 2 years after that one, we end up, me and my wife ended up buying a house, and we renovated the whole thing. Like, it was something we did that meant a lot to us. Like, something we purchased free and clear, something we want to renovate with using our own money. And this was a special project for us. And for my dad to be the GC to help us renovate it, allow for this to be like the making up from years of not being there, because obviously I didn't pay what I would pay you know, an outsider as a general contractor to manage this particular project. And even to this day, I won't sell that building because I had the mindset of generational wealth and lineage and the story that's behind it.
Oh,
That was
that's dope.
that was number two. The third thing is most recently, I look at my kids and I say, yo, y'all spoiled. I do too much for y'all that I never even had. Like, and most recently, I was just having a conversation with my boys, and I was telling them, hey, listen, you know, I never even went on vacation with my dad. And it was this past winter that we got a chance to go on vacation for the first time together.
Oh, that's dope.
And you know, my dad, he was a sniper in the military, and military snipers, they don't use 50 cals because 50 cals are not legal to shoot people with. So not only did we get a chance to actually spend a night in the same Airbnb, which we never spent a night in the same house before, but we also got the chance to go to the gun range, me and my boys, and to shoot a 50 cal with my dad. And for my dad to turn around and say, yo, son, I never did this before. I was like, you know what? I feel great about the restoration. I feel great about how we are today, but it still doesn't change the fact of what couldn't be done. But it's a proof that I'm not holding on to that. I'm focusing on what's going to help me live better for the future versus holding on to the past. So
you had to get yourself healthy in order to even grow more.
Absolutely.
How long ago was that realization? I'm not going to keep you here too much longer, but this is big, and this is very common. It's very common, man. So how long from the time where you kind of had that epiphany to, okay, I have to start making this change to now? What's that timeline been like?
I mean, it's like I said, it's been over 20. So I'm 45 now. We're talking about since I was 20. So we're talking about 25 years of process, you know, and nothing's perfect.
So I'm sorry. So you made that, you start that waking up happened around that time. When you were going through the I got you.
So it's a process. It's a process. It's like, so I've gone through evolution and change just based off of the men who I've had access to because of cutting hair. And I look at the successful ways of people who are credible in my life, and I watch their winning ways, and I learn from those things. And I have access to people from different cultures, access from people from different walks of life, different financial backgrounds. And I pick and choose certain things like, oh, I like that. I wish I had that when I was growing up. Oh, what is it that got you this one? And I've learned different things from different walks of life just because of this multicultural clipper cutter that I've become. So for me, people like to give credit for me being a great barber, but the reality is I was healing from my traumas through the confidence that was being built consistently through the comments and through the affirmations that I was getting from every person that's sitting in my chair. That's what I experienced.
No, that makes sense. Did you guys get to a point where have you ever told each other you love each other, or has it not gotten that far?
Say the last part again.
Have you guys gotten to the point where you express yourself with words of love, like "I love you, Dad," or "I love you, son"?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, absolutely. No, and it's genuine. It's from the heart. It's actually genuine. Like I actually got mad love for him. Like it was to the point where my 16-year-old wanted to drive to the Poconos for the first time. He didn't have his license yet. He's licensed now, and my dad was like, "Son, he ain't got his license yet. You're gonna let him drive for 2 hours? I don't know if I feel comfortable with that one. I'm not gonna go." And to prove that I had love for him, I was hurt because I was like, "Dad, this is our first time being able to actually have this moment together, and it's about to be spoiled because of this." And I'm like, now I gotta tell my son he can't drive because and you can prove
he was planning on
he's like, I gotta get my reps in, Dad. I want to make sure I get my license at third. And for me, the proof of love and the measurement of love is what you're willing to sacrifice for somebody else. So at that moment, I was willing to sacrifice the experience for my son in order for me to have that experience with my dad. So that's a proof of love existing.
Hey,
go ahead, T.
I'm about to take us out of this.
I know you are. I know. Hey,
I'm
look,
about to take us out of this. It's a
we
great
know
transition.
we know
Go
each other.
carry on.
So it's been a good transition time, but that is a big topic to me. And I just got one last thing, and then I'm gonna let us transition now. All right. You said something. I'm serious, man. This boy, did he just yell in the back?
Sorry, I thought I muted.
That boy, man, you just got me going. So the thing you said a minute ago, you said I noticed that my son is spoiled. And there's a reward. No, I got you. But there's a reward. This is the challenging part with parenting, fatherhood, all this. There's a reward that happens from you not having sometimes. And then when we don't have, we overly compensate for what we didn't have to the next one, and we damn near enable, cripple, set back, disarm everything. So just father to father, like I was listening to you, man, and I was like, oh, you said little things that they had so many avenues. I got to be careful to not, we don't go too deep down there. But just lastly on this topic, what would you say to a father now who doesn't have a 16-year-old yet? Maybe they have a 4 or 5-year-old, and they have that same perspective. I'm gonna give my kid what I didn't have. Do you have a certain perspective on that now? Because I do, and I'm just curious from what you said. How would you go about that now, advising another father?
So I love analogies, and one of the things Instagram equipped me with as another analogy to think about development. It was a description of a weak tree versus a strong tree in the environments that they built in. So what happens is if you put multiple different trees inside of a protected shelter and allow them to grow with all the healthy things that they need, they will be very hollow inside and break. They will end up crumbling. And the main reason why is because they don't go through under any stress. And stress would causes the strength of that base to become much stronger. So they have a lot of determination, grit, and grind. So one of the things that I mean, I haven't experienced it and my kids have experienced it, but I have a high appreciation for people who've gone to jail and made it through and made transitions to re-enter differently, is because of the mental toughness that people experienced on that time, and the people that have transitioned to actually re-enter into society as better. For me, have a stronger willpower and stronger mental determination. I've had to access that through other things. So sometimes I try to create storms intentionally. Listen, I said on one of the posts that Bones put up, I was like, I look to irritate my kids on purpose because of this is how I'm viewing things. Like
I like that.
like this time I want you to be irritated with me setting limitations and setting boundaries and telling you to figure it out, because I don't want you to be weak. I don't want you to be mentally weak. I don't want you to be in a situation where I protect you from so much that you don't learn how to solve problems, especially my boys, because my mindset is that men are valued based on how many problems they can solve. And if I can't teach you and train you how to solve problems, then I've done you a disservice. So
that's why I couldn't let it stop right there. He just there was a lot I heard and picked up in that, man. So thank you for allowing us to dive into that chapter of your life, man. That says a lot about who we even talking to. You get me?
Appreciate it.
I grew up without a father for 36 years and had found him when I was about to turn 37. So I could have got all up in this and went a whole nother direction, because there's things that people can like people think that because you got two parents that you're going to be raised like to be a good kid. There are some excellent single moms raising some men to be men. There are single dads growing these women up, and then there's neighborhoods. Somebody that live in the ghetto could come out of the ghetto being a doctor. Somebody in the suburbs end up trashing their whole life. So it's not circumstance; it's what you make out of your situation.
Let's go.
So I'm in the middle of that statement. I'm in the middle. It is circumstance, but I do believe that the home doesn't always become the indicator or the dictator of people's futures, because I do believe your environment matters. because most of our kids spend more time with other people than us.
You're absolutely right.
That's the reality. They spend more time with other people than us. So literally, it was my bad circle that influenced me to make a lot of my bad decisions, but it was also my good circles that actually influenced me to make a lot of good decisions. So the older we get a chance to program our minds towards what we want. You're going to be programmed by something. Like whether you like it or not, you're going to be programmed by something. It's like somebody's going to have the ability to use you as a puppet. The question is, who are you going to choose to allow to be your mentor? Who are you going to allow to be judge and jury over your life? That's what the difference is. Those people, you can have a bad start and bad foundation, doesn't matter, but who you choose to help cultivate you from the time that you take control over it, that's what's usually an indicator of where you end up going.
Boy, this was a powerful father hour right here. I like what we we didn't even plan this, and I love the way this started off, man.
So we learned a little bit about Kenny from then to Kenny now. Now in the barber industry, there was a Kenny then.
Let's talk about it.
There's a Kenny now. What are some of your journey obstacles that you had being a barber then, and then now in this new age of barbering? What is it that you want other people to adapt to be able to be a good barber in this new climate?
First off, there's I had to unpack what's important to me, and then unpack how it becomes developed, and then I can answer those questions. What's important to me is charity, character, and capital. And I mentioned capital last because I believe that you focus on charity, because God is love, and what you give is determined how charitable you can. That's often the heart. So charity means a lot to me. Character means a lot to me. And if you have those two things, money will end up following you. So even though it's not something that I want to say it's all over my life, but it's something that's a tool that's used to actually, I like to focus on making it so I can give it away. That's my focus, right? Because it's a tool to be used for something that's going to help build the life that you really want. So I believe that we are our best selves and we exist best in community. So with that being said, what I hate right now that I helped develop is barbers who wanted to raise their prices, be appointment only, focus on the picture perfect haircuts, and be isolated by themselves. I helped create it. The reason why I helped create it is because I just share with you my dysfunctional story. So unhealthy Kenny was telling people raise their prices, and I never said raise it after you earned the ability to raise it. I focused on teaching people how to use enhancements. If y'all peep that picture that I put up to help promote this one, that first picture I put up when I had hair, that haircut had enhancements in it. So, and that picture was from 2000.
That's old. Yeah.
That was a picture from 2000. So I would let you know that barbers from Philadelphia are some of the first barbers to introduce using enhancements. We were using color against manufactured directions. Black ice. I gotta pay homage to Gerald Leary and DeVita. Gerald Leary was the barber for Boyz II Men. He was in Philadelphia, and he was an educator for Wall. And when I won the Andis barbering competition, when Ivan Zoot mentioned the winner of this competition is going to work for the Andis company for 1 year. This was in February 2005. They said it was going to be for 1 year. The first person that put me under their wing was Gerald Leary, and he was one of the partners for Black Ice. That was from Philadelphia. So we, along with Tom McGill and Major League Barbers and everybody who was from Philly, going to all the trade shows, we were the ones teaching people how to do picture perfect haircuts. And I always like to have proof of these things. That was the name of the first DVD.
Picture
when
perfect.
I wanted that DVD. They don't even make these no more. This is just proof of what I'm talking about. So what we did was teach barbers how to do picture perfect haircuts. Now keep in mind, I was only doing great haircuts to heal from the wounds that I didn't receive, because I didn't receive the affirmation from my dad. So I was chasing the affirmation from every client that said, yo, this is a clean cut. You got me fresh, Ken. And that right there was my affirmation that I needed to keep having that fuel to keep me going. So I chased the feelings and not the finance. That's what a lot of people don't realize. So while I was in this space, I'm telling everybody, yo, get your worth, charge more, just and the third, yada, yada. And there's a large amount of barbers who you guys love that are teaching some of the things I was teaching 20 years ago. And they became popular doing it. And everybody loves them. I don't have the bandwidth or the emotional attachment to the ego that comes with, hey, I did this.
Yeah.
I'm in my space just healing, bro.
Yeah,
I'm in my space enjoying life
That's
and
beautiful.
being present. That's what I'm enjoying most right now.
You touched on something that I brought up in our last interview, but I really want to hear what your thoughts is about it. Like back in the day, a lot of the barbers was old heads, right? They were legends in their community. There was,
Yep.
I mean, these cats was 40 and up. You didn't have a
Yep.
lot of young barbers, and nowadays we see barbers out of high school getting into this industry and charging whatever they think they're worth. Do you think with all the new blood in our industry, will we lose some of the integrity and the community connection that was once the foundation of this industry?
It's already a loss for those that jump straight into the suite. And here's the reason why. They used to have elected officials. They used to campaign in the barbershops. The reason why, because that's how the community connected.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore. They're not coming to your suites and hanging out in your suites anymore.
No.
The next thing that's taking place, there's community events that should take place in the barbershops. They're not taking place in your suites anymore. The next thing that's not taking place is because unless you're double booking and running behind, there's no community conversations that's taking place in the suites. So what happens is the opportunity for multiple different generations to actually have healthy conversations like we're having right now that allows one person to learn from somebody else that you don't even know. Like there's times where I'll learn from somebody else's client who just happened to be the third person in line because they was waiting for that person. Next thing you know, we just started building a relationship. And now they become my old head and schooling me on stuff that they have experience in that I don't. You're disconnected from those things. So if you want to focus on money and you want to focus on like that mindset of charging the most per hour and all that one, it's cool for what you can do in the suites. But a large amount of people that I know don't have a lot of frequency of bookings because the business acumen that it requires to keep a full book at a higher price point, most people don't have it. And for those that don't know, I'm the barber for the 76ers, and I've been doing it for 9 years. Most of the guys that I cut do not have a max contract. Every barber is out here trying to charge max contract money, but there's more 6 men than it is max contract guys.
That's good.
So my point is, I'm not gonna say nothing bad about anybody charging a lot for a haircut because I do charge my worth. And I find people that's willing to put me in a line with that one. And I have my mentors that keep me in line for it. And I'm gonna tell you a story. Remind me to tell you a story about me and Pierce Alston working together. And that was a part of the then and now. But I believe that there's a sweet spot between, and I learned this from Ivan Zoot, focusing on what you're able to earn per minute versus what you can charge for the service. Because there's some people that do 20-minute haircuts really good. And there's some people that can't even do a 20-minute haircut really good, but they do really good hour and 20-minute haircuts. Now, if your hour and 20-minute haircut is really good, you need to have a higher price point because you're slow. But somebody who's doing really good haircuts in 20 minutes, they don't need to charge the same price for that service. And some of them can make more per hour because of them making more per minute.
Damn.
It's me.
Damn. Yeah, this boy is fast.
It's me.
Fast. And he prices for his community, not for reputation or a bragging right or something. I love the way Tamel approaches that. And
Yeah.
I've been hearing people that are, I know you mentioned in one of your videos that you sometimes almost take offense to being called an influencer. You're more proud to be an educator. But you understand you have influence. Excuse me. I've been hearing some of the more influential people like yourself, Chris Bazio, who spoke that, not renege, but kind of come back and explain it more, elaborate more, because it's almost like you were coming from a solid place when you were first saying it, but you don't realize the capacity of the people you're saying it to and how they may abuse that info in that direction.
I see it now.
What's that?
I see it now. So the thing
Yeah.
is, that's why I started off by saying I'm sorry for what I was teaching, because I was coming from an unhealed, unhealthy mental space that literally I couldn't language that, hey, I'm doing this for other reasons, not knowing why I'm really doing it, because I didn't know. My ignorance wouldn't equip me with enough insight or words to be able to describe what I was talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
Really? It's clear.
Yeah, so I have more of a bird's eye view, like, man, like I was tripping because I see the byproduct of some of the things that I didn't offer context to. There's things I still stand on, but I will offer context to understand, okay, I'm not mad at anybody who's earned a max contract.
Right.
I'm mad at the people who put in 6-man work but want max contract money.
It got the attitude with it. It got the attitude.
That takes me to this other question I wanted to ask you. In your opinion, do you think that we're producing more entertainers than true professionals?
I think what's being rewarded is personality and the negative bias. Negative things people remember more, and anybody who has great personality is going to be publicized and go viral more than somebody who's boring but yet consistent. So the industry is rewarding, and I say the industry, I'm talking about just how life is designed. Right now, I can say something very powerful, and if it doesn't have, if I didn't say it within a 3-second hook that's going to grab your attention to keep you stop scrolling, then it won't go viral. But if I did something stupid like splash water on myself in the first 3 seconds, then I'm like, hey, yeah, I want you to check out. That's what we've been rewarding with attention. So my mom said this. My aunt says those are not people that's for me. So I wouldn't label myself as an influencer, because Curtis Smith said this to me. He said, you're going to have a hard time being successful if you desire to be popular, because when you become popular, you now have the responsibility and the mental capacity. I mean, the desire to keep that up. Oh, I got to create something. I got to create something. I got to do this. I got to do this. And you become a slave to you become like the hamster on the wheel. I gotta, versus actually just doing something that you love. You know what I'm saying? Like when you do something that you love, it's different versus when you do something because you have to. So
no, it makes sense. And
Go ahead.
What's the difference to you between what would make a good barber a great barber? And I'm not just talking technically, just in general from Kenny's perspective and your experience.
I think anybody who feels better after the service that they've gotten from that barber, that person will deem that barber as a great barber. It's not for me to judge to say that there's certain qualifications that somebody needs in order for them to be listed as great. My mindset is, if you've earned the ability to service many people and they're satisfied with what you've done, then you are by definition great. If you've done it consistently over a period of time. Now, if you're asking my perspective of great technicians and people that I personally prefer over others, it's going to be the individuals who can serve the most amount of people from most amount of walks of life. There's very few people that I could say, if I take this person and put them in China, would they be successful? I take this person and put them in Germany, would they be successful? I take this person from the West Coast and put them in the East Coast, would they be successful? Because they have a skill set that allows them to do everything. I can't say that there's a large amount of people that fit that category, but those are the people that I admire the most.
I mean, let me piggyback on Lon's question. Can you give me 5 characteristics of what would make a great barber?
Number one, the capacity to be able to have confidence to do at a high level every single thing that a client will ask for. So that means what we're talking about with knowing all four major textures of hair based off numbers, not just based off just texture, but from 1A all the way to 4C, to know all the techniques and have enough tools in the tool belt to be able to have confidence and execute. I'm gonna talk about sometimes people start sweating when a wrong texture come in the shop and they're like, the haircut was done and they got in the chair. They don't want to get that next person in, so they act like they still got to fix that little one spot and so to another person get them. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's number one. Number two, I prefer those that actually communicate and uplift people. And this is what I'm about to say now. My number two doesn't just stop with barbers, but it's how I view some of the leaders of this industry today. My favorites are the ones that uplift, not tear down. My favorites are the ones that actually speak life, not speak death. My favorites are the ones that don't focus on using clickbait and to focus on using, things that's negative to try to get things done. Like it's to me, it's selling out for money, from my perspective. So I don't view that type of barber or that type of businessman to be high, because one of the things that happened when I first started working at the Andis company, I used to always say, yo, Andis is better than Wall. They would not let me say that. And the reason why was they was building my character. I had jokes and everything. I was like, my mom told me not to use 4-letter words, so therefore I use Andis.
Oh, you was ready to go hard.
I was, but they said, listen, that's not our style and that's not our character. We stand for integrity. And then when I started watching some of the most successful businesses, you never hear Porsche talking about Ferrari. You focus on your features and benefits and what you stand on, and you provide a great work, and you let that speak for itself.
Damn.
So there's a large amount of people that I've seen people take shots at me and all that. I don't care, because you're not my judge and you're not my jury.
Amen.
And they feel sometimes they feel that's the only way. But like you was just getting ready to say, that it doesn't stop anything. And matter of fact, Stefan Batory, CEO of Booksy, said something so profound to me and Tamel. He said, it's funny how we compete in a sense where we get uncomfortable when a similar business comes around. He says, but there's been research and there's numbers to show that the businesses that they do better, man.
They
like
do better.
we got two auto parts places right next door to each other. McDonald's
Pepsi
and Burger
Coke
King
make more money. Pepsi and Coke make more money off their vending machines when they're paired next to each other versus isolated. My personal belief is personal belief is that collaboration over competition works better. That's been my experience. Every major thing I have access to in life has come through me collaborating with somebody in my industry doing the same things that I look up to. I swear to you.
Why we wasn't ready to drop a bomb right there, man?
I
He
know.
just gave the whole
real quick.
He just gave the whole breakdown of what the United Barbers Club mission statement is, man. Me and this guy own 2 separate shops, and I've never traveled with anybody as much as I travel with him, ever. I don't even have family I've traveled with as much as me and this dude done traveled. We done been around the country. We heading around the world together. And I gotta say, man, that has been our mission since this was the Sacramento Barbers Club. We just realized that, man, we could do so much more together. And it gets to the point now, Kenny, where my statement has evolved a little bit to where we're in these meetings every Tuesday with so many people. I tell some of them, I don't even want to do it by myself. I don't. You can do everything better with somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, man, shout out to you for even adopting that. A big thing in our industry right now is we see a lot of the negativity that's coming from the things that are evolving in barbering. What's something positive you like that's happening in barbering right now? I know we all have opinions and things, but what's something you like?
I really don't want to spend a lot of time talking about other people and what they did or didn't do, because I don't really have time to focus on everybody else's stuff. But I will share with you this. My barbershop, I have 14 field chairs right now, but my mentors have 14 barbershops. I cannot become egotistical or arrogant or big-headed because I have a full shop when my mentors have 14 barbershops. I came to No Griefs this past, not too long ago, early this year, to learn from the twins, and they've done some great things with 14 barbershops. And my perspective is that I have to continue to submit under my mentors until I work hard until my mentors become a fan, right? So now I want to tell you the story about me and Pierce Austin. Pierce Austin, Stacy Cutts, and a large amount of other individuals have given me insight and access to a world that I would not have gotten into on my own. Gentleman named Wyatt Belton gave me an opportunity to work on the first Creed movie with Michael B. Jordan. I had no set etiquette. I had no understanding, but Curtis Smith introduced, he let trust transfer that he built relationships with DL Master Barber, with Conrad Hilton, Stacey Cutts, and Pierce to allow me to be assimilated into that world. And they gave me insights that empowered me to do great things to make sure that relationship extended beyond just that first opportunity. So my skill set got me in the door, but character development through my mentors helped me keep myself in that room. Fast forward a couple years ago, me and Pierce Austin got a chance to, for those that don't know Pierce Austin, he's been Will Smith's barber for like forever. And he creates a different hairline for every character that Will Smith plays in. I told him that he could do a barber chart of only Will Smith with all the different hairlines because he creates characters. He doesn't just do haircuts. That's what they taught me. So we get a chance to work with each other on the commercial for Bad Boys 4. My client, Jimmy Butler, was in that commercial with Messi, Martin Lawrence, and Will Smith. I get a chance to hang out with them the whole day. Great experience. I played my pool, played my part. And Pierce, being my mentor, one of the things he did was afterwards, he called me. He said, "Hey, Ken, did Sony pay you yet?" I said, "Well, I bill with a net 30. And the funny thing, I'm gonna put a quarter in park for a second. The internet is mad because their barber charging $100 and $200 for haircuts. When you guys hear what me and Pierce were billing for these things, it's going to be mind blowing.
Can you tell people what a net 30 is before you go too far? So they can keep up with the story? What's the net 30?
Net 30 means I do the work today, I send you an invoice tomorrow, and I give you 30 days to pay it. Sony's credit is good enough to know that the money is coming. So
Gotcha.
He asked me, "Hey, did you, this is 2 weeks later." He says, "Hey, did you get paid yet?" And I was like, "Nah, I didn't get paid yet." But I said, "But bro, I bill with a net 30. The money's coming. I'm not worried about it." He was like, "Well, I don't bill with a net 30. I bill with 14 days, and it's the 14th day, and it ain't come through yet." So I'm gonna tell you what I built, and I'll let you fill in the blank what he built. I built 4,500, and I thought that I was doing well. And keep in mind, my day was hanging out with the guys that I grew up watching their shows, enjoying just being in the presence of greatness, and just having, this appreciative moment that I'm being paid to be there. Right. So when the average barber was fired in the shop, the barbers that's charging $200 a haircut, even if you did 10 haircuts in that day, you still didn't make as much compared to what I did.
Yeah.
When Pierce told me what he built, made me feel like I was the $200 barber.
Damn. Oh, I got you.
So I had to humble myself again and say, "Show me the way, Sensei." show me the way. DL, you've heard him talk about how he's built.
That's our barber brother right there, man.
Yeah, that's our mentor.
So just to give full context to it, it's a different world when bigger productions are paying for these things. We're not talking about the people we're working with, talent paying out of their pocket. Because a lot of times, people say celebrities are cheap, this, that, and third. And people who knock celebrity barbers are people who never been in this space. Those are the people who knock it. And that's the reason why I don't even respond. Because I'm saying, like, I don't need to be popular for some of the things, but I need great relationships. I've had a 6.5-year relationship with Nas because of Marcus Harvey. I've had experience on a world tour with Kendrick Lamar because of Donato Smith. I had access to Michael B. Jordan because of several people, because of Carla Clarkson, Wyatt Belton, Stacey Cutts, and Pierce Austin. If it wasn't for other people that I built relationships with in the same field that I was an asset to, I would not have got a return on my investment into people. And we won't have the mindset of focusing on community, character development, and people development when we're isolating ourselves into these suites. So I tied it all together to show that my perspective is, like, as somebody who tried investing into some suites for those times, stuff was a train wreck, didn't work for me because it went totally against everything that I know has been working for me. My community has helped raise me. The people I've had access to help raise me. When I'm cutting, this is my third coach that I've been working with for professional athletes, and Nick Nurse, from Brett Brown to Doc Rivers, and now Nick Nurse. These are my coaching times. They have 15 players that they have to make sure that they have a great mindset and motivation and morale with, and sharing their strategies with, to they execute so they can win a championship. I'm trying to coach and lead my team to multiple different championships, which looks like them being pillars of the community, making decent money, not being slaves to the barbershop, but being assets to the community in many different ways, so they become a relationship rich and allow the money to flow.
That's our currency. Our currency is relationships.
Yes.
We do a lot of sweat equity to build that up. It's highly important that we have people that speak to other people for us. Last week we had Will Stam. Will Stam was invited
Great
to
guy.
come and be on our podcast. Will Stam reached out to Marv saying, "Hey man, these guys with me. I don't do all this stuff. I don't just pop on people's stuff. How are these guys?" Marv said, "Oh, they're great guys. Man, I just did a show with them, bro. They straight down to earth. They're gonna treat you right." And because of that, he came on our show. It's that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Those type of relationships that really speak for you, and that's how you get your return on investment. So,
I'm glad he touched on that too, man, because we always say the relationship is the currency, and to back up what you said, man, we were never worried about money or recognition. We were just so juiced to meet somebody that was, they say, get yourself around people that are doing what you want to do. You are who you put yourself around, all those things. So if we admire you from afar, to be able to get in that space, and I can just have some of that time and that energy and that information was valuable enough to us. And we would get challenged, man, without saying any specific names. We literally was just talking about this today. We would get challenged about, what are you getting from this person and that and this company, and we didn't know how to respond to that, but we were like, man, we're not really worried about that. We feel that we're just building with people. And the funny thing is that came back around full circle without us expecting anything. And those relationships, man, I'm telling you, we could almost wake up now. I was just joking with T today. I said, man, we be waking up to blessings. It's crazy. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about opportunities, information, resources, and it's an abundance, Kenny. And I'm openly excited about it, man. And I go, damn, ain't that a trip? That relationship right there is what led to all of this. So I just love your story, man. That it's definitely in alignment with how we view relationships and the values of them.
I'm gonna recap that with this story. It's very short.
Please.
My relationship with James Bradbury, one of the corners, used to be all pro with the Giants, came over to the Eagles, was highly regarded at one point. Great guy. I have a great relationship with him. Just because of our conversation, not because of the haircut, but because of our conversation. I was able to not just go to the Super Bowl, but I was able to sit lower level watching the game for free. People sitting next to me spent 10, 15, and $20,000 for their tickets. And this was my second time getting access to the Super Bowl like this.
Wow.
So when I say barbering has allowed me to become rich in relationships, on my fourth passport, because of cutting hair, travel the world because of cutting hair. Like, there's a lot of things I was able to do because of cutting hair. And I'm not going to say and tell you that I've earned 10 million, but I lived a life as if I spent 10 million. Feel me?
Yes, I feel you. And you're going back to like the way we moved in the beginning of the time. We didn't have money. This is something we made up anyway. Our currency was our skills. It was our resources that we're going to trade and barter. You know what I mean? So when you talk like that, man, that's exactly where you take me right there. It's not even about the dollar. And that's what's crazy and scary is we have to be careful with how we digest other people's perspective of value. You have to respect your own level of value. And that's why I said, man, I was confused on why people even cared about what we're getting out of relationships. But we were so innocently just doing us. I think that in hindsight, people saw the opportunities before we seen them, or they saw the resources building before we seen them, because we weren't looking for anything. And they're going, wait a minute, you're connected with that. Well, why aren't you getting this? What Kenny's getting? And we see Kenny connected with them, but we didn't care. And it's Kenny's turn right now, and we're not asking about any of that. We're just glad to be in that space, like you said earlier, just being next to some of that stuff. Your boy Pierce, stop playing with me, man. You could have went and got on the set without Pierce, and you wouldn't have even known that there was a possibility to go higher with it. So, man, shout out to you, man, for even just you on our page, man.
Yeah, let me hold something, man. You're getting all this money. Let me hold something. We down here struggling. What I learned, I read this book, The Go-Giver, and it's give more. One rule number one is give more in value than you expect in payment. And I generally live by that. That's why my prices is like probably the cheapest, well, not the cheapest, down at the bottom of what some of my top tier barbers are charging. But I'm very the way I feel is like the skill set is not even half of what the service is. I believe you're more of an 80-20, where your professionalism, your customer service, that character that you speak about, that carries more weight than being a perfect barber where you're getting every loose hair out the way. It's how you treat people and create an environment for them that they want to come and give you more money. Most of them are coming to you just to unload their troubles on you, or to help get them through the day, or they need a nice haircut for a wedding or whatever. But they have a place to unload, the community based barbershops. How do you feel about that? Do you think that some people say it's 50-50, the skill set and the professionalism? What is your take on that?
My honest take is that is neither. That is more about character and conversation. The reason why I'm saying that is because of what I've heard. The very first time that I really realized it was my relationship with a gospel artist named Todd Tribbett. Todd Tribbett had been a client of mine for some time. Out of like his first 5 albums, 4 of the album covers with my work on them, right? Wow. And he moved to Orlando. I sent him to Charlie Urban Barber to be his barber there. He's his barber now, and he's doing some great things. But it was a period of time in which he came close. I ended up meeting with him, and he was going through some things, but he needed a trusted ear that he can talk to. And literally, as soon as we got in the room, now keep in mind, Charlie is killing a haircut, but his mindset with me was, hell, I couldn't wait for us to connect again. And it was only because of the conversation. It's only because of the relationship. He can feel transparent. He had the ability to be transparent with me in a way, and know that he can trust the advice and the message I was going to give him wasn't going to fuel the negative side of him. I was going to be able to understand him, not judge him, but yet encourage him for greatness. I've had the same experience with me learning from Curtis Smith and then duplicating those things with my clients. I said to Kurt, I said, how is it that you get these celebrity clients to continue to pay you to travel the world with them? I've cut different people when it was convenient, but they never went out of their way to be inconvenienced in order to keep their relationship and loyalty to you. I mean, to loyalty to me, the way they've kept their loyalty to you. And that's what caused me and Kurt to build, because my mindset was, I'm going to help him build the Exotic Hairdresser Tour. In exchange, he's going to mentor me in understanding how to thrive in a space of maintaining and keeping relationships. So as a result of me practicing the things that he taught me, I now have been, my relationship with Jimmy Butler is a testament to the character and the conversation and the trust, and not necessarily just the haircuts. There's a lot of great barbers that have cut his hair, but consistently, he's, I need you on a flight to come do this. I need you on a flight to do this. And then he puts a headband on right after he gets a haircut. So it proves to me that it's about trust.
Got you.
More than it is about the content of, the skill and this and the third. So keep in mind, I started my career, you got to do the picture perfect haircuts. Now I'm preaching a different message. The message now is focus on charity, focus on character, and the capital will come.
You actually answered my next question. The difference between, the difference between a barber like yourself that are maintaining these celebrity clients opposed to another barber, and that trust and that character. That just sounds like that's the common thing in each of these relationships with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been to several guys' weddings. I'm in people's houses all the time. I'm not posting the stuff. Kurt told me, he said, listen, man, you never want to be the first person to give the world access to information that they didn't want to have out there. So I'm
Mm,
not the one giving people access. I'm not live streaming. I've earned clients because other barbers have live streamed. I've
Mhm.
earned clients because other barbers give people access to stuff that the world wasn't even supposed to get access to. Like, you
damn.
got to ask permission if you're going to actually share those things that people not. Now, the culture has changed, or people may have become more comfortable with it,
Yeah.
but that ain't cool. I sent a barber on a job. I told him, don't take no pictures, don't do no videos, this and the third. He thought I was just trying to hate on and stun on him, this and the third, but is what it is. Then he asked the client, hey, do you mind if I take some pictures? And the person already knew that I told them not to do it, but then
Mm.
he didn't want to be a prick and say no. So he's like, all right, go ahead. And then he
Mm,
posted stuff. And then next thing you know, now he getting invited to the house again. And then he's showing everything, showing the cook, showing the house, what it looked like, this and the third. Oh, this is how my client treating this and the third. They called me again, booked me a flight to LA. This barber's down the street.
dang.
Booked me a flight to come to LA from Philly.
Dang. Dang.
So
Nicky
you
Munn,
the
great
you the
barber,
set.
great barber.
Yeah.
Great.
So you're the 76ers barber, right?
Yes.
So that means you're under contract with the team to cut their hair.
Yes. So I have
So
a
see,
suite inside of the practice
I
facility,
seen
get
it.
paid by the organization, not
I
paid by
seen it.
players. Players can tip if they want, and then I work directly with them when they do their commercials, stuff like that one.
That's
But
dope.
I love that
organization.
yeah, I love that you said that because barbers think that cutting the player here and getting the referral from the other player.
Hmm.
You actually are contracted with the team, and you're able to cut probably the coaching staff, the trainers, all of that. Correct?
I'm in spaces that I can't even talk about.
I know, I believe
Wow.
it. But that's another angle that barbers can be looking at by going and trying to in their local area, wherever the team. It could be a hockey
Yeah.
team, it could be a G League team, whatever. You can start finding those angles to be able to get in those doors and offer that type of you that.
Absolutely. I'm working an angle right now for me to set up a bunch of grooming suites for the World Cup. So I'm thinking differently. So my mindset is, instead of me trying to chase being the best barber, I've
Yeah.
always tried to focus on positioning myself for the best barbering opportunities, and it happens best through collaboration over competition.
Mm. I love, man. I love getting to learn about how you process, man. You got a lot of integrity. You're a great model for our industry, man. This is going to be evergreen content that people can just kind of go back and chew on over and over. Um, and I'm excited about what you're doing and where you're going with this whole with this relationship with the sports team too. That's pretty dope. I do want to ask one more question just for barbers in general, because we like to get information in these interviews and these conversations that can help any barber, any level. I hate when I hear, "Oh man, it's a young barber's game." I'll be like, "Who said that? Why? Like why? It's any barber's game as long as they want to apply themselves." Um, so I'm just curious, man. We do get a lot of students, and I just want them to hear from somebody after hearing this journey, and who you are as a man, and then how you operate your business. What you see now, what's something you see a lot of barbers doing today that actually holds them back from being great at this?
Themselves, ego, arrogance, believing that self-made, self-paid. I could do everything by myself. I don't need anybody. All I need is some gloves, a ring light, and a pencil, and I'm good. Now the funny thing is, Philadelphia barbers actually look at it from a different standpoint, because
Mhm.
people laugh at us because of the white pencil or the white ash line, but it's been our process that we shampoo every single client that comes into our shop.
Mm,
Like, everybody gets a shampoo. So we are taking all of the excess oils out of the hair And then after we've shampooed and conditioned the hair, we use a holding spray to actually freeze the hair so that when the trimmers hit the line, it gives you a slight ash. But it's not the top layer of epidermis, it's the layer of the holding spray that we like to use. And then when you see the small thin line, it's because of using a razor going against the grain to actually build up the excess of that holding spray that people actually know from Philly. If you don't see the ash, then your cut's not sharp. That's literally what we're doing. So the focus is to go against the grain and focus on all the small hairs, allowing for that outline to last longer. Because in Philly, the shape up means more than the quality of the fade. So as long as that beard doesn't have those stubbles coming back to tomorrow, because we use the razor to get those smaller hairs, we know for a fact that lineup is going to last longer. That's the reason why we do it. So when you're not a part of the culture, you're going to talk about it with a negative connotation, but you're not my judge, you're not my jury, and you're not the ones paying me more than I can't take that.
You use shave gel or foam?
I lost you for a second.
You lose.
He said, do you use shaving gel or foam?
No, we actually use holding spray. So it's looking like it's called just a dry shave, as if it's nothing protecting the skin. But literally, after we shampoo, we use holding. So first off, if it's a wave cut, we're doing mousse to help lay the hair down. So you got a thin outline of the residue from the mousse on your line. Then we're coming back with a holding spray. So now you got two different products laying over top of your skin. So the skin will never be irritated. Keep in mind, I've been doing this since '98.
Yes, yes.
My clients is on TV without scars and black lines on
Right, right. I was looking at your detail. I said, man, this dude is you said something really cool. And you just touched on the scars. You were talking about how you don't make your liners like basically surgical. You like, I'm not about to be cutting my client's skin, and you're also offering a more comfortable experience because of that. You know, we come from the time where it's like, man, them is hitters. Gotta make these hitters. We're gonna put these blades so tight together to where when you just touch the face, you can feel it, man. What made you step back from that? And I'm asking because I actually made that decision myself, and I had got some cocoa trimmers, and I just loved how afterwards the aftershave process wasn't what I was brainwashed to think it had to be. It didn't burn like that. And so ever since then, I just didn't want to do that with my blades no more.
All right. So first of all, I learned from a lot of people. I'm known for teaching, but I learned from a lot of people. Tim from a company called Pro Grip. If you guys remember the Andis T outliners who came hot, he was the first guy that came up with a wrap around the tools that keep it from actually. He came to me one day at the show and started talking about, hey, I got this idea about, just understanding that barbers have different pressure. That coupled with Andis makes a bunch of different blade settings on tools. There's not one setting that they have on all their blades. So because as a tester, I work with stuff that people haven't even seen yet, and I've done that for years. I had to adjust my hand for all the different settings, and I've been able to get clean lines with all of them. So if it's down to a 0.01, I'm glad she got a tap, tap, tap. If it's 0.02, I can press a little bit more, but still get that line. If it's a 0.03, like a lot of them are, there's going to be that time where I had to press just a little bit more, but those are the ones I can move faster with. I know for a fact I can go under the neck because it's not going to cut. And I know I can actually still get a tight line around the beard if I put the right amount of pressure. It was a barber named Jeremy Knott, crazy with designs. He would take a Styliner M3 straight out the box, which had a setting of 0.006.
Damn.
And do crazy designs, no razor.
Whoa.
That told me that it's not the tool, that it's the barber and the technique. So for me, my mindset is the more you understand your tools and understand your techniques, you increase the value of your talents. So when I hear people always trying to create shortcuts and band-aids for bad behavior, for me, I don't respect it, because I took my barber test and I forgot my trimmer, but I still had to use an outliner blade to do the whole outline.
Oh, damn.
So This times I went to go cut Nas and I didn't have my adjustables, so I had to do the whole fade with a trimmer.
Ooh. Whoa, wait.
Yeah.
And so I saw a video where you was using
Sidebar.
your comb.
I said to his marketing people, they said, "Can you remember the line about the how he talked about the fade with the bevel blade and all that?"
Yeah.
I said, "Listen, I said before today, Nas has never had a fade done with a trimmer, but now you can say that, but this wasn't a bevel." But my point is, I respect skill set over people cheating with a whole bunch of different, things that just quote unquote make the job easier. Like people still struggling anyway. People still struggle with the more things you create because they didn't learn how to actually use what they had. The barber who faded my hair the best when I had hair, faded with detachables, no adjustable.
Damn.
He made me respect the manipulation of how you hold the tools. Tariq Jackson, first person I seen actually turn the clip upside down when he doing a fade. Like, there's so many barbers I respect for the manipulation of how they hold the same tool versus trying to do a whole bunch of different ones. I carry with 3 tools in my bag and I can do everything.
That's dope. That's a big statement, Kenny. That's a big statement.
From older barbers, you can understand what I'm talking about. Y'all seen people do more with less, but now we need 50 clippers.
They dropping like Jordans.
Right. Hey, that's funny he said that because so we had this happened a couple of times, but I had a barber at my shop. He got hired and man, he was so juiced. And we have a team meeting. Back then we were doing the meetings on Zoom. So we're doing the Zoom meeting and he was in his garage cutting and he was like, man, L, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. I'm glad to be on the team. I'm gonna be there Tuesday, saying what's up to everybody. And I was looking at his station, his setup, and he had this big old tool chest. And I ain't talking about the roller top ones. I'm talking about like the real mechanic, like got the air gun
with the big top.
Yeah. And so he said, and I always tell everybody in our shop, and that shop is the space is really limited. I tell them we got to do a dance together. You turn this way with the chair, I turn that way. It's like the old school shops. Long story short, he got juice. He did his little speech to the whole team, and he said, "Hey, L," he said, "I'm gonna be up there to start setting up my station." And he turned around to the tool chest. He said, "And I'm gonna bring this." And I said, "Oh no!" And I thought he wasn't gonna come because I really wanted him. I had really worked hard on recruiting him. So I wanted him to come, but I was like, I don't think he understood what I meant when I said we don't got that much space. And that's when I realized right there, I said, man, we have a clipper hoarding type of mentality in barbering. This boy right here is a real clipper hoe. Like this boy it's fun to go look through his collection though. He got drawers full of clippers. And so I had to have a talk with him and a couple of other barbers. I said, man, I never want to limit a barber because I'm not just a shop owner. I'm a barber. I get it. I get it. You want to have what you use. And I was like, but I got to be honest. Can you help me understand that you really need all of that? I'm not telling you what to have, but can you help me understand?
Let me give you some insight.
And they trimmed it down, Kenny, and they came back to me and said, you know what? You actually made me realize I don't even use half of it. It's like having an artillery case just in case.
Yeah. So watch this. What we all have done is fallen victim to the marketing.
Yeah.
That's what we don't. We all have fallen victim to the marketing. That's typically what's done. When I first started, there was 3 clippers that people said you needed. It was a Master, a TI line, and a 76.
76.
When I started, that's what they said you needed, right?
Yeah.
And as you can see, I'm not trying to be biased to the brand. I'm just telling you how I was raised, right? And when I first few years of barbering, every barber had the same things, and it was skill that separated the weak from the strong, right? Now the mindset is it's about the newest, latest, and greatest of the tools, and nobody's focusing on the technique. Nobody's talking about the evolution technique. And y'all all know this one. Barbers hate cutting hair with somebody else's tools because the settings of their tool they got comfortable with, But every 6 months, you're buying a new set of tools that you gotta take 2 months trying to figure out how to get the best out of them. And the only reason why we do that, I'm gonna tell you what took place.
What's up?
When manufacturing started taking place overseas, it made the barrier to entry for clipper brands to introduce new clippers easier because of just not manufacturing anything in-house, just picking from a selection. It's like going to a vending machine saying, hey, I like this, that, and the third, and I want to put it on. That's literally what's taking place now with so many different barriers to entry now. Because now, if you have a direct consumer relationship and you have the ability to just buy something and put your name on it, you can sell something. So now anybody who's great at marketing is going to tell you to buy the latest and greatest that they would have an opportunity to put their name on.
Damn.
That's what's taking place. We become victim to the marketing. Now, what Andis has been doing for years is consistently saying these tools will outlast your clipper cutting career. That's the reason why the Andis blades have been designed to perform at a high level, and they've been doing the same thing for years. When they first started the Andis Master, there was an 18 tooth cutter blade, a 22 tooth cutter blade, and a 28 tooth cutter blade. Those cutter blades gave you different finishes based on the different amount of tension that it grabbed the hair with, because the thicker the blade, the less tension that it had, allow you to do bulk removal real quick. But then on the surgical blade, and y'all old school barbers know that there was a time that we didn't call it just a fade blade, we called it the surgical blade. That surgical blade always came with a 28 tooth cutter blade, because the more teeth on the cutter blade, the higher the teeth count, the higher the tension, and high tension leads to high precision. So if you had a fade blade and a taper blade with an 18 tooth cutter blade, that was a perfect marriage between the best of both worlds. But if you didn't have that, you got the taper blade with a 22 tooth cutter blade, because for the person who was budget friendly, you wanted one tool to be able to do a lot. That 22 tooth cutter blade allowed you to do bulk removal and a quality fade, but it didn't allow you to get that crunch and fine finish like that surgical blade. You follow me?
Yeah.
So now let's go to the Andis T outliner blade design. All the other brands had different shape tooth patterns and shapes of the blades until everybody said that the T outliner blade was the best performing, whether deep tooth or shallow tooth. When other brands got access to finding out ways to simulate and adjust this similar what that blade design is, that's when other tools started becoming popular. Now, I will say this one. When Andis came out with the cordless master, the one challenge that we had was allowing for the sound profile to match other people what they were doing.
Yeah.
That's a thing of the past now. So anybody running with that story now is running with something of old. All the decibel tests of all the newest tools that fit all of the Andis blades that we make all sound quiet. So it's funny because we still hear it, and it's really just trying to point to something of old. Andis has continued to evolve over a period of time, but they never try to focus on creating something new every 6 months, because the goal was always to have something you can build your business on, that once you find a system that allows you to actually make money quick, why change it? If you mastered a system and you could do a quality haircut that you can earn $50 in 20 minutes, $100 an hour,
man,
why do you need to change?
Man,
now you're buying a new clipper. Now that's 20 minute haircuts taking you 45 minutes because you're trying to figure it out.
Kenny, you sold me. You made me want to go get my first pair of masters I done had in forever.
I got mine.
Man, look at your pictures of those haircuts back then. You can be like, man.
Hey, no, I'm not even lying. I'm not lying. So look, just so you know, I'm not BSing. I keep it. And the reason I keep it is because this was my transition from street barbering, you know, just cutting with the Walmart clipper. Well, actually, there was Kmart clippers back then. Cutting with the Kmart clippers. And then I went into the shop. And so I went through apprenticeship. I didn't go to school. So I didn't get the kits, all that stuff that everybody get. So I came into the barbershop with the black
Walmart
Oster Kmart clippers. But I was cutting good though. And I get next to these cats. This is when me and Tamil met. And I'm over there cutting, and I feel like I'm just working hard. I'm just and they over there. Our strokes was different. I was over there. Hey, Tamil and them, they talking. And Kenny, can you imagine at that time for me, I never heard of a master. For y'all that are not in the barbering world, this was the evolutionary clipper of the barbering game, at least at this electric, clipper time. So I start asking them questions, Kenny. I'm like, what is that? Like, what is it? I didn't even know what it was. And when I heard that word the first time, it was like, it's the masters. And man, I'm not being funny. I'm telling you, this is a moment that stuck with me. I would watch them cut because of this clipper so long. And so I finally asked one of them, can I just try it? And when I got this thing, man, I never put them down. This reminded me of old school cars. I get a car, I could get a motor part. I'm like, hey, I need a cord. I'm gonna replace this. I'm gonna replace that. So this changed my fade game. And to your point, I will say I could never look back and see my fades the way that they were with this. Now, where they lost me was I tried that damn what's my fade?
The fast feeds.
Fast feeds. Oh my Lord. Listen, I made a mistake and tried them. And it wasn't even on purpose. I tried them and it was just crunching, it was smooth. And so that was my next best experience.
So I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Real quick, the only reason I like those better was because these were cooking my hand. They were cooking my hand. But
slow.
Yeah, I was slow. I am slow. But the big thing though, Kenny, where all of them lost me was when that damn magic clip came with that cordless clipper. I was tired of cords and I did not even like the way they cut, but I said I will figure it out. And I never made it back, man. But I always kept this because of that experience.
So here's what you just did. You compared apples to oranges because all three clippers you mentioned all have different cutter teeth on the cutter blade. So the fast feed has an 18 tooth cutter blade. The master you're using had a 22 tooth cutter blade, and the magic clip has a 28 tooth cutter blade on it, and it's paired with what's called like a phase type of blade because of how thin it is in comparison to the taper blade. So different experiences, different feels, depending on what haircut you did most. There were certain things you did, you loved the way it finished and finesse on it because of the teeth, not necessarily just because of just the tool in itself. It was certain things you did better. Now, here's what I believe. If you were to pair all three of those tools in your station and find out what each tool is best at, that's when you would become a super barber. Absolutely.
Because you're right. It was a different experience each time. And there was a compromise with the switch each time. It was something I could see that I was losing. This never got this back. Never. And I've turned into I let the magic clips go when what's my ones?
You're talking about the ergos?
Oh my Lord. When those came, I was like, oh, these are like the Ferraris. They purr, and then boy, I love them things and they fit my hand good. So then y'all finally, I kept saying, if they come with them cordless fast feeds, I'm dropping everything. I'm quitting off. I'm doing like Harlem Nights. I ain't coming home. I'm going straight to the fast feeds if they come cordless, but they took too long. And then y'all came with the cordless of this.
Masters, yeah.
I didn't jump on it, but my barbers had them. And it was new. So they were like, like you said, loud, or the battery wasn't lasting as long. So it's just dope to hear from you, somebody who's so I know you're not a salesman for them. You're a stand-up guy. You're saying this because you've seen the evolution of it. So you make me, for the first time, Kenny, I'm literally like this close. I think I'm gonna go get another set of masters. I'm gonna try the cord.
I got a cord for you.
So here's what I would suggest you do.
You got a cord? I don't want no cord no more, dude.
No, not at all. I would suggest there's a clipper that Ennis makes called the Phenom. And the reason I suggest the Phenom, it has a 28 tooth cutter blade, but it also has the ability to actually have the phase blade, the taper blade, or the fat blade on it, fit all the double mags, but this blade actually detaches. So you don't have to have a whole bunch of different clippers. You can end up having multiple different adjustable, removable attachments with one clipper and put it on. One of my favorite barbers of today is Var the Barber. And He's not sponsored by any brand at all, so he uses a whole bunch of different stuff. But whenever he goes to do his mobile services and his highest paying customers, he takes this tool here and he put a silver Andis master blade, a blade that's on the clipper you like, with a 28 tooth cutter blade, and uses this tool on the go.
Say the name again.
It's called the Phenom.
Phenom. What do those retail at?
It's like 130, 140. It's not even expensive.
That ain't bad.
Really?
But I would suggest you purchase the additional attachment heads and have the different blades that you like on it. So keep in mind, when you said you like the fast feeds, that's the wide tooth cutter blade. That's the 18 tooth cutter blade. When you like the master, that's the 22 tooth cutter blade. And when you said you like the wall magic clips, that's a 28 tooth cutter blade. So depending on what finish you want at the time, will determine what blade set that you like to use. But I'm not saying you have to have 3 clippers.
No, 3 blades is dope. So are you saying, and then those 3 options, is that something I could create, or y'all sell them that way?
So they don't sell them that way. So this is one of those hacks that I came up with because of me being a clipper junkie in that space, and something that I talk about. Now, because they don't sell it that way, that's the only reason why you don't hear me talking about it a lot.
Got you.
It's because they're like, Kitty, if you said it, why didn't Andis sell like that? Well, I don't run Andis. I just partner with them. So like, all my ideas aren't what they accept. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Now, even when it came to my clipper, I paired the taper blade with a 28 tooth cutter blade because I like the cutter blade to grab more teeth. So I like to fade and make sure I can get it done right. And I like the taper blade because I do a lot of stretch fades and do a lot of clipper over comb. So that combination is my personal favorite. But it might be a whole barber in China that likes the phase blade.
Got you.
But me personally, I like that combination for me to do whatever I want, and I have fun with it.
You fun, dude. I'm about to go back and watch this
video.
Yeah,
you a guru on a whole nother level. I can get into all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm a clipper.
Oh, he's saying you're a guru on another level. He could watch you, and I'm gonna just tell you this, man, as we close out, dude. I hope you open to come back and do this with us sometime. You are like a wealth of knowledge. I like how we were able to go from, man, we started off in fatherhood.
We talked about everything.
Come on, man. Like we started in fatherhood.
Testing.
There you go. Okay. Celebrity barbering. We done went to Clippers. It's just a super, super dope experience with you, man. I know you got something to say, T. I was just finishing what I was saying to him. I just wanted to give him his flowers.
I just want to play a little barber trivia with him.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, this will be good.
Barber trivia. I'm gonna start with something smooth, something that you should know. Name. Hold on, let me get us.
This gonna be good.
Name this famous barber.
So I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna tell you who was on set to help them build.
I thought it's gonna be like this.
Yeah, so I created a barber poster back in the day that got me into coming to hair shows, and it was because of the gentleman named Isidore Adams. He worked with Wall. He actually had posters that was in my shop. This movie was shot in Chicago, and the people that was from Philadelphia that was on set was Nori West from Major League Barbers. And I said to myself, how did they have the same barber poster that none of my clients are asking for these haircuts in a movie in Chicago and it's in Philadelphia? So I say, yo, I'm creating a barber poster. And it was called Philly Styles. And that's what got me into coming to hair shows, because of me and my partner, Wade Cowser, going to see Ice Cube in barbershop. And yeah, that was
who was he playing?
Was it Calvin?
There we go.
Chicken dinner. That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, that's a part of my upbringing, man. Like that was a major milestone moment. Like, yo, we gotta create a barber poster, man.
That's dope.
All right, here go one for you, Lon. I'm gonna let you hit him with this one.
All right, if you charge $60 for a haircut, the client tips you $13, pays you with a $100 bill, how much change does Kenny owe them?
Well, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shake their hand and smile and say, I appreciate you. That's and then I'm gonna wait for them to respond of exactly what they want. You know what I'm saying? What they want to give back. So do I owe them 27? Nah.
Hey.
Do I owe them 27? Nah. I'm like, I appreciate you, brother.
you gonna upsell that bill?
Oh, brother. Thank you so much, brother. Like I told you before, we appreciate your time, you giving that to us. This was dope. We're going to chop this down into several different content videos that we'll collab with you with. We understand how everybody's page has to look a certain way, so we understand if you don't.
I'm not on it because it makes it easy. I'll accept all the collaborations. I'm not that guy that's on that tip. But I will say this one: if it's a bad clip, like if I got a boogie in my nose or something like that, one I'm gonna accept it. Then I'm gonna actually decline that joint later.
Hey, real quick before we go, I just want to thank everybody. We've been doing new things. We want to thank everybody on IG who hung out there with us. We had people from our guy Peaky Blinders. He sent a shout out from Majid from Australia. That's really dope, man. We love y'all letting us know where you're from and letting us know if this is impactful for you. But just a lot of people in IG just leaving some really good stuff. And Kenny, I know we don't do it for just the credit, but I just think I look at this more like the flowers, man. The things people were saying in the comments, I just look at it like you deserve those flowers, man. So I hope you receive it that way, man, because the impact you're making on people is obvious. Like just looking in the comments is obvious, man. So it's an honor to have you. And then for you guys in the comments, we're doing something different. You will not be able to see this video right on YouTube the way you normally do. This will be released on Sunday morning. So we want to encourage you guys to keep being here because you get a different experience than when we put it out later. So thank you for evolving with us through all these new methods that we're doing now, man. So
yeah, just so you guys know, we do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Kenny, don't go nowhere after we close out. We want to holler at you in the backstage. But everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Stay blessed. And until then,
peace.
For the culture, for the culture, for the culture, 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 for the culture.